Okay, in today's session, we are going to talk about plagiarism in academic writing. What comes up in your mind when you hear the word plagiarism? And why do you think students do plagiarism in their academic writing? Also, why do you think being aware of plagiarism matters a lot? And do you know what types of plagiarism are there? In this opportunity, we'll discuss about these aspects on plagiarism. Plagiarism is basically using words and ideas of particular resources without giving acknowledgement or credit to the original work, thus implying, whether intentionally or unintentionally, that it is their original work. This kind of act is considered as an academic crime. But what makes people do plagiarism? There are several factors why they plagiarize. For instance, bad time management, lack of understanding about citations, lack of paraphrasing skills, and low integrity. Why do we need to be concerned about the act of plagiarism? The first reason is because it will not help the writer to develop an understanding regarding particular fields, since they do not have enough ability to develop the ideas themselves. Another reason is because it is important to avoid and be aware of plagiarism in order to raise self-awareness of the academic code of conduct. Aside from that, it is important to be aware of it in order to uphold academic integrity. Finally, plagiarism would lead to various consequences, such as failing or even getting expelled for doing plagiarism to any extent or whatever type it is. There are many types of plagiarism, each defined differently according to different sources. For example, according to Bradford University, there are 6 types of plagiarism. First, direct copying, or copying other works directly without acknowledging the source. Second, word switching, or taking someone's ideas by changing the words from the source without giving credit. Third, working with other peers and using the team's works without giving proper credit. Fourth, concealing sources or making the sources unclear by not properly indicating the original source. Fifth, buying assignments. Sixth, reusing previous work. A different set of types comes from Ashford University. That puts plagiarism into 6 types as well. First, copy and paste. Second, find and replace. Third, sharing work without properly crediting. Fourth, self-plagiarism. Fifth, improper citing. And sixth, purchasing. Meanwhile, Bowdoin University divides plagiarism into just 4 types. First, direct plagiarism, or directly copying word for word from the source without giving credits. Second, self-plagiarism, which means reusing your work that is previously submitted. Third, mosaic plagiarism. This means borrowing sources without quoting or finding synonyms and leaving the meaning and the structure the same. Fourth, accidental plagiarism. This means misquoting or unintentional paraphrasing. Finally, another perspective comes from Nebraska University, where they divided into two types. That is, sources not cited and sources cited but still plagiarized. Although plagiarism in general is a serious crime in academia, there are different degrees to plagiarism. We'll take a bit of a closer look. Due to the sheer abundance of academic works and overlapping words that may be used in those works purely by chance, it is reasonable to expect that there will be similarity in academic writing to other research. Of course, similarities don't mean necessarily plagiarism, as one may have used and referenced properly the same quotes as other researchers, or coincidentally used similar phrases and terms in different contexts, and so on. However, higher amounts of similarity can indicate the occurrence of plagiarism. Thus, institutions usually have standards for an acceptable similarity percentage. With anything going above the standard, the works could be regarded as plagiarism. Here is an example of a possible framework. Aside from similarity tests, we can try to identify plagiarism by using parameters such as Bailey's checklist. This checklist will help you avoid accidental plagiarism and spot plagiarism in other works as well. Let's have a little bit of practice, shall we? What's the type of plagiarism used in this text? Pause the video and try to answer it. Let's read for a moment. Have you read it all? Let's move on then to answer them. The answer of the question is, it is a direct plagiarism. Why? Since there is a part of the source of the text that is completely copied and they are used word for word to the text without a quotation or proper citation. Let's try another one. What about this example? Pause the video for a moment and guess what type of plagiarism this text features. Are you done reading? Let's see the answer. The answer is that it is a mosaic plagiarism. Why? Because the text uses many phrases from the source without citing it. All right, so that's broadly what plagiarism is. Why it's bad, why people do it, and why you should be concerned about it. You've also learned about what type and degrees of plagiarism, and also now we should learn how to avoid plagiarism. So we will talk about how to avoid it in the next lesson.